is number 7 Missouri going down the wire with Vanderbilt, 30-27, pulling it out in this game. Let's go over the highest graded players in this game, starting off with the Missouri Tigers. At number 1 is Armand Membu at a 78.1, Chris McClellan at a 76.7, Dalen Carnell at a 76.3, Christian Williams at a 76.2, and Marcus Bryant at a 73.9. And then go over to the Commodores side of the ball now. Diego Pavia at an 83.9, Colby Taylor at a 72.3, Christian James at a 71.4, Eli Stowers at a 71.3, and Brandon Fontenette at a 70.3 to round it out for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Dalton, really kind of a shocking result in this game. Vanderbilt's been really playing well all year, but what was the stat that told the story for you in this one?
Okay, so first for the madness, because there's plenty to say on both these teams. But look, it's kind of a funky stat, and it's kind of like not that deep. But look, these two teams combined to miss 5 field goals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it just created all of the madness we love about college football. Honestly, Missouri missed 3 of them. Vandy missed 2, including the late one that eventually won Missouri the game. This was madness, and I think what you get is, you got missed field goals, you got some weird stuff going on. I think the one thing you notice about Missouri in that graphic is you don't see Brady Cook, you don't see Luther Burden, you don't see Theo Weiss. They found a way to win. And first of all, credit Vanderbilt. This is a better Vandy team than we've seen the last few years. Diego Pavia, I'll tell you what.
Clark Lee's saving his job.
I don't know if Pavia's already got a nickname, but I might just nickname him America's quarterback.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Is there a more fun guy to watch right now than Diego Pavia? I know there's better players, maybe not as many as we think, and we weren't sure if he what was he? He was the first guy at New Mexico State to win 10 games in 60 years, right? But you're still jumping to the SEC, and you're jumping to Vanderbilt at that. And
he just turns around programs. That's all he does.
That's apparently all he does.
Yeah,
honestly.
He just turns around programs single-handedly.
Seriously, I mean, I'll tell you what. There's probably some other teams that are going to go hunting for him because he is just gutsy as all hell.
Carolina Panthers are going to take him number 1 overall. Turn him around.
Maybe. just hey, if you need a culture shock, you take Diego Pavia. But in all seriousness, Vandy is playing better than we expected. And again, and I said this through the first 2-3 games, Missouri has yet to play their best football. Yeah. They have not. Brady, they're missing throws. It's not always in rhythm. Their defense is good, but it's not like world-beating, right? They're finding – I'm very in between on Missouri right now because there's part of me that goes, we know the potential. We've seen it last year, and they've yet to play their best football. And they're 4-0. And they've beaten – and they beat their 2 soft opponents pretty darn soundly, 89-0. Mm-hmm. Found a way to win against BC in the first real game. And again, Vandy is much more game than they've been in past years. Oh, yeah. They're playing a lot of games like this.
This is not the worst team in the SEC anymore.
No, absolutely not. No, this is at least a decent football team that went in there and have a gutsy as hell quarterback. But then I go with Missouri. I go, okay, you have a week off, and then they have to go to A&M.
Yep.
And then I think they have 2 more games, and then the Alabama game's coming. Mm-hmm. They need to start playing their best football.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they don't start playing their best football, they will get to that Alabama game, and they're going to have a big problem, and they're not going to look like the 7th best team in the country. No. So, again, the execution, not wicked crisp, but they're finding ways to win games, big moments. They're leaning on Luther Burden, and I'll skip to most impressive here for me. I really like Nate Noel at running back.
Oh,
second week in a row.
Balling.
22 carries, $197, 5 missed tackles. He is 10th in the country in rushing yards right now. The fact that Missouri, it's the weirdest thing for me because we both, did you have Missouri in the playoff preseason?
Yeah.
We both had Missouri in the playoff preseason. And part of what makes them great is this balance and the run game, and they played good enough defense to escape this one, and the BC game, they figured it out in the second half. But at some point here, they need to start playing their best football.
Yep.
I think a week off. I think a week off right now is actually a very, very good thing for them. I think especially they're going to go into Kyle Field. We know A&M is struggling. They squeezed out a win against Bowling Green last night. Bowling Green, that's a fun team to watch. They're fighting Falcons, man.
You don't just schedule Bowling Green and quote Dave Sofaro.
You don't just schedule Bowling Green. Penn State and A&M learned the hard way. Harold Vannon Jr.
Oh, we'll talk about him in a second. Yeah,
we will get there. But yeah, I'm in between them, Missouri. I just go, they don't currently look like the 7th best team in the country, but I know it's in there.
Yeah,
right?
It's in there.
And we're trying to find this, and we're just barely finding wins. But there's other teams right now in the top 10, top 15 playing better than them. And that would concern me. They have a few more weeks to go before the Alabama game in Tuscaloosa. That's their window that they need to figure this out.
Yeah, my stat that tells stories really goes into that. It's negative .055 EP per pass in this game. It's the second worst Missouri's had in a game over the last 2 seasons, and the only one that was worse was the bowl game against Ohio State last year. So it's crazy that it not looked this good. They're 47th in EP per pass this season. They have a top 10 quarterback in our opinion in Brady Cook, one of the best receiving cores in America, an excellent offensive line protecting Cook, and a brilliant play caller in Kirby Moore, and a good ground game now to kind of like balance it out. And they still can't get it done. It's so maddening because it's like literally there's nothing wrong here. It's not like the offensive line's not protecting. It's not like the receiving core's not getting open. It's not like Brady Cook's a bad quarterback. Nothing is wrong there. They're just not doing it.
Just executing.
They're just not doing
it. They are executing offensively at like a 75-80% level.
Yeah.
They're not because if they're executing all the way right on offense, they're putting up 45 points.
And it's not like Colorado where it's like, oh, they have no run game, so the defenses know, hey, let's just drop 8 back in coverage and we'll be fine. No, they have a run game too. You mentioned with Noel. So Luther Burden III only has 100 yards once in a game through 4 games so far. He's not even the team's leading receiver through 4 games. That's the craziest part. Theo Weiss right now is the leading receiver for Missouri right now. So they got a couple weeks to figure it out before traveling to Texas A&M next. But this passing game has been little eye-opening, I will say, for Missouri, because it doesn't make sense. It's almost like you got all these great things going on, a great coach and great offensive line, and a great quarterback and a great receiving core and a good run game to balance it out, and still not working.
It's a very good week to have a bye week.
Yeah, they just like really go back to the drawing board. Like, all right, what's going on here? What's the issue?
It needs to be stressed. Look, great year last year, 4-0 start. We very easily could have lost these 2 games.
Oh, yeah.
If Vandy's not missing field goals, if BC kind of stays on the gas in the run game and doesn't turn the ball over, I think it needs to be like there's moments where you go, okay, the really, really good teams keep improving after their wins. That needs to be Missouri right now because with Tennessee now looking the way they look, SEC is just disgusting at the top. The top 6 in the SEC. So, I mean... We've got.
6 of the top 7 teams in the country are SEC.
I mean, we were mentioning, okay, could we get 5 teams from the SEC? That would feel. Could we get 6? Could we? I mean, could we just get half the playoff be the SEC?
If Notre Dame doesn't make it, that opens up a spot. And I don't know if ACC and Big 12 get 2. And then the Big 10, maybe with Michigan back in the mix. I don't know. I mean, if they got to lose too.
We've got the top of this SEC is crazy, and Missouri right now they need to start executing better.
Half the playoff come from SEC would people would be pissed about it. But honestly, at this point, it's like I don't know how you could argue against it. Real quick, I want to go over most impressive. We mentioned before Diego Pavia. He is single-handedly saving Clark Lee's job and single-handedly turning this Vanderbilt program around. He has been fantastic this year. And also credit to Clark Lee for recruiting this kid and getting him to come here as well. That's a great job by him. And a guy that is entering the hot seat, entering the year, he is absolutely not on the hot seat right now. I think Clark Lee's doing and we'll see how the rest of the year goes for Vanderbilt, but he's doing a fantastic job this year.
And I think getting Jerry Kill as an assistant on their staff
hell of a job.
Helped a lot. And getting Eli Stowers, too, the tight end that came over with former quarterback, 4-star quarterback that came over with them and moved to tight end. These guys, I'll tell you what, the New Mexico State Commodores is what they are. Look, Diego Pavia right now, I just had to look at it. Vanderbilt has the 6th best quarterback in the country.
Just going to say.
I mean, that's insane.
90.9 grade. He had 1 big-time throw, no turnover-worthy plays, 83.9 grade against Missouri, 178 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, also ran for 103 yards as well. Vanderbilt has not made a bowl game since 2018. They might do it this year because of Diego Pavia. So he has been unreal for Vanderbilt so far this season. I want to shout him out right there. Even in the loss, he deserves a shout out.